It's Fill Your Plate Now, where every bite brings you closer to the farm gate and further from what's unhealthy. Now here's your hosts, Julie and Tammy, helping you live well by filling your plate well.
Okay, so for the first time ever with Fill Your Plate Now, we're doing a back-to-back series with Jan Diatri, I always like to call her our local media celebrity, but even though you've retired from media, and now you are cooking 6 days a week.
Much for retirement.
Yeah,
huh?
right. And she's teaching cooking lessons and then just launched and into its second season, Cook Like an Italian. Jan, in my book, you're a superstar.
Oh,
and thank you for
right
joining.
back at you, Julie. Right back at you.
Thank you. And thank you for coming back on for this episode where we're learning more of these in the kitchen with Jan, so to speak. Kitchen hacks.
We learned so much the first week. I couldn't wait to get into the second week because as I just said off air that I'm going to have to listen to these 2 or 3 times to make sure I've captured all these tips. There's so many things.
I'm so glad.
You're a wealth of knowledge.
And our dairy expert here, you need to ask her all about cheese.
Absolutely. Yeah. We ended the last episode talking a little bit about cheese, but I'm curious to hear what kind of cheeses you like to make. You said you make them from scratch and how you do it.
So I teach the cheese making class at Sweet Basil, and we've been doing it for about 3 years now. And it was a real journey for me because I was never. First of all, I tried to find somebody in town that would help me make cheese, and nobody did, And I know I talked to Wendell Crow from Crow's Dairy, and I said, Wendell, I want to start making cheese. He goes, yeah, you and me both. He goes, everybody's been asking me to make certain types of cheese. They do such a great job with their chef and everything. But he was trying to get the mozzarella pull that the chefs in the restaurants in town wanted, and he was struggling with the pH and all that. Well, that scared me a little. I thought, well, my goodness, if Wendell Crow is struggling, what am I going to do? So I just started researching and trial and error. And in our classes now, we make homemade ricotta. We make homemade mascarpone, homemade cheese curds, homemade mozzarella. We do mozzarella 2 ways. And the thing about mozzarella, everybody wants the big pull, the big cheese pull. But what happens is that makes it really tough. And so we're trying to balance a good, delicate cheese with that pull that everybody wants because they deem that as a successful class if you can get the pull. And we also make American block cheese. We do a Velveeta that is unbelievable. It's so delicious. I mean, it's made a believer out of so many people. We do paneer. We do kefir. We do all sorts of cheeses.
What steps go into making the cheese?
So we do the cheeses that don't take 5 years, like Parmesan. I wish I could make a big Parmesan wheel, but unless people want to hang out for a couple of years, So we do cheeses that you could make in a 2-hour period. What goes into it is basically whole milk and an acid, and that's it. So for ricotta, it is a gallon of whole milk, and it's all about the temperature. It's all about the temperature. You bring that milk up to a certain temperature, take it off the heat, add your acid. In ricotta's case, it's either lemon juice or vinegar. And then, again, it's the temperature, and you just let it set. And about 15 minutes later, you start pulling the curd. And the yield that we get in class is unbelievable.
And you use whole milk.
Whole milk, and that's it, not raw milk. Won't go there. But whole milk. And the secret to using whole milk is a slow temperature. Don't be impatient. Bring it up it's got to come up to 185 degrees. It's going to take about 45 minutes to get there.
So at Sweet Basil, are you doing cooking classes with cheese that are exclusively cheese, how to cook with cheese, or?
That's just one class that we
That's
do.
Okay.
So we do sausage making, tamale making, cheese making, those specialty types. But then we do all sorts of every ethnicity and air frying cooking, Italian, Thai, Asian, whatever. grilling.
So with the cheeses, to get the different types of cheese, it's a different type of acid that you add?
That's it.
Okay.
So for ricotta, it's a lemon juice or vinegar. For mozzarella, you can do just vinegar, but you're going to get a bigger yield with rennet, which is, you can speak to what rennet is, because people, they think it's something weird, but it's just the cow's lining.
Right. Yeah.
But there's vegetable rennet as well. You need very little, like 1/4 of a teaspoon, so it's very little, but you're going to get a huge yield. And again, it's all about the temperature. American cheese, American block cheese, I think we use sodium citrate, and always milk, always whole milk. And so
it sounds like it's kind of basic, except that the key is the slow heating of the temperature. Okay.
Right.
And the different acids.
The thing is
And
that,
different acids.
like I do a sourdough class too, and people, I panic for them because they all show up in class and they've gone down the internet rabbit hole. And it's the same thing with cheese making. You get online and everybody's got their own method, and their method is the best, and don't use that and don't use that, and you get confused. Sourdough, the same thing. It's flour, water, and your own wild yeast. That's what a starter is. But you get so crazy and confused, So what I will tell you about cheese making is that you'll find your way. You have to just do it and experiment with your pot, the water you're using, the milk you're using. You have to just try it, and you will find your way.
And it sounds like you can make just about any kind of cheese.
You can.
Except for the hard cheeses that
are
take a long
aged.
time to age.
One of the things that we do is, the kefir. I don't know if kefir is in the cheese or the milk category.
It's really kind of almost like a yogurt.
Yes.
It's in the yogurt milk type of category.
Talk about a superfood. And what you have to make kefir from a grain that's already established. You can buy the grain online, and it's all from the same 4,000-year-old grain that was cultivated. But it's amazing, and it's great for your pets. It's great for your gut health. It's easy to do. All you're doing is adding milk every couple of days, and you can drink it, and it's wonderful.
So you make your own.
That's great that you make your own.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I need to be a farmer, right?
You do. You are, in a sense. You've got chickens. You've got all kinds of animals.
Great veggies growing.
And, you touched on sourdough, but that is such a craze now. My husband's into making sourdough bread right now, too.
Is he?
And he's got the starter mix, and it's like golden. You can't touch the starter mix. You've got to be very careful.
That's right.
But yeah, that's funny that you say it's just a few ingredients and then just variations.
It is, and there's so much that goes into it beyond that point. It's the flour that you use, it's the oven temperature. You're getting that oven spring that's so important. And do you add steam to it? And do you use a Dutch oven, or do you use a Banneton? But the basics is sourdough is a starter, water, and flour, equal parts. That's how you feed. That's how your husband feeds his starter, with water and flour. And the third element, the yeast, comes from your own wild bacteria grown in your home. So his starter is going to taste different than mine. Then it'll taste different than Julie's, because that's the third element to a sourdough starter, the wild yeast grown in your own environment.
Interesting.
So are you liking his sourdough bread?
His sourdough bread is very good. Yes.
Good. Okay, I'm curious, Tammy, is your hubby more of a cook than you are?
Not. He barbecues.
Okay.
and
he does sourdough.
Yes.
Wow.
And you know what?
Does he use this?
Yeah. Possibly. Usually I'm the one that goes to the grocery store, so yeah, it's probably what he's been using in it. But I do like that garlic bread recipe you were talking about.
Yeah,
too.
The last time we were here, we talked about Ina Garten's outrageous garlic bread. She takes a whole head of garlic, which is probably 15 or 20 cloves. She puts it in a skillet with a lot of butter and simmers it for about 20 minutes until that garlic is soft. And then she puts it in a bowl, mashes it up, and adds a ton of Parmesan cheese, a little bit of parsley, salt, pepper, and spreads it on that baguette and toasts it in the oven.
Sounds
oh my
wonderful.
God. It's called outrageous garlic bread for a reason.
Sounds
it's
wonderful.
So good.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Well, again, because of your show, Cook Like an Italian, and everything we're learning, we haven't really landed on another key ingredient in Italian cooking, which is tomatoes. We've talked a little bit that do not put them in the refrigerator.
Okay, that's right. Never put them. And I'm about to give you the best tip I could ever give you for tomatoes. Okay, so the first one was never refrigerate tomatoes because they'll turn to 90% water. You're losing your flavor, right? So keep them on the counter if you can. Use them when you need them and buy more when you need them. That's the best. But have you ever seen a recipe for a meat sauce, a chili, or a marinara sauce, a tomato sauce that calls for sugar? It'll say a teaspoon of sugar. You should never, ever, ever have to put sugar. Tammy, you're going to come and
my
take my class.
lasagna has a little sugar in the sauce.
But it's not going to anymore, and I'm going to tell you
no,
why.
it's not.
I get really excited about this. So the reason these recipes call for sugar is they're trying to counterbalance the acid that you've created in that tomato sauce. Mm-hmm. How have you created that acid? Because of salt. So when you're making a meat sauce or a tomato sauce or a chili, never, ever, ever incorporate salt until the very end of the cooking process. When that sauce is off the heat, you are going to notice 1,000% difference when you do this. What happens is as tomatoes cook, they become more acidic. You introduce salt and you've amplified the acidity. So now you're compensating for that acidity with sugar. You've got your caramelized onions. Maybe you put leeks in there that are beautiful and sweet. Your garlic is sweet. Your olive oil is good. Don't add salt until, if it's 25 minutes, 45 minutes, if it's cooking all day, doesn't matter, take it off the heat. Then you add your salt. When you taste your tomato sauce next time, you're going to flip out. There's going to be no acidity at all.
Oh, I can't wait to try that.
It's going to be beautiful.
That's great.
That's one of the biggest surprises in the classes that I teach. People go, I've never tasted tomato sauce like this.
Now, do you use a certain type of tomato when you're making sauces?
No, you can use crushed tomato. This whole San Marzano, I get it, but it's a canned tomato.
Oh, okay.
And like we went back to the pick of the season, and sometimes the crushed, I use crushed or pureed tomatoes all the time. But I think if you can sometimes if you're not getting a good whole tomato in the store, maybe a canned tomato is better. It's sweeter. Sometimes those tomatoes, they freeze the tomatoes or they come in refrigerated trucks and they haven't been ripe. So those tomatoes don't really taste great.
So have you noticed a difference? Because my family's from the Midwest and they would swear by Midwest tomatoes versus tomatoes in the desert. Do you notice a difference in the flavor?
100%. Strawberries.
Why is that? Is it just the temperature?
Well, maybe it's not being shipped in a refrigerated vehicle and stored in a refrigerated warehouse somewhere for weeks and weeks and weeks. Maybe
you've got to try Mortimer's strawberries. They're nice and sweet.
So good. Mortimer's does everything right.
They do.
They do. They just really get it. They get being a farmer.
Yeah.
They
and
really do.
I think some of our there's not a whole lot of our direct market farmers that grow strawberries because strawberries are not easy to grow, but some of our other direct market farmers grow great strawberries.
One of our chefs, Amy Barnes, does a tip every time she uses strawberries, which I think is brilliant. She puts them in a salad spinner and adds a little bit of vinegar.
Oh.
And just gently spins them. And then they stay for weeks. They will stay for weeks, just that little bit of vinegar.
Wow.
Yeah, because if you wash your strawberries when you get them home and then you don't use them for a few days, they're soggy.
I know. I always hate to wash any fruits until I'm about ready to use them because they do seem to get soggy real quickly.
Yeah. So tell us how you make your marinara sauce. What I know I didn't. I said that like an Irish woman, not an Italian.
Marinara.
Marinara.
Marinara. There you go.
Yay. So tell us how you make your sauce. We now know that you don't add salt until you've taken it off the heat
So
at the
important.
very end.
So important.
And that keeps the tomatoes sweet. But
Right.
what else do you...
So,
I want Jan's sauce, not mine.
There's so many people that say, yeah, I got great sauce. I've cooked it all day long. Well, you can make the most amazing sauce a meat sauce in about 40 minutes. You can make an amazing marinara sauce in about 15. It's so simple. It's tomatoes, garlic, a little bit of basil, good olive oil. Boom. That's it.
That's it.
That's what marinara sauce is. It's tomato, garlic, basil, and a good olive oil.
And Tammy and I just come over. You also brought us some salad.
Yeah.
Well, here, in honor of you guys with the cheese, this is called a Frico cup. And what this is its own little edible bowl. And all you do is you get your oven to about 400 degrees. You get either parchment paper or a Silpat, and you put a handful, like about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese in clumps, put it in the oven, and that's it. And then when you take them, when it's kind of golden brown like this, you get a cupcake mold, cupcake tin, turn it upside down. You take that wad of cheese that's now a flat disc, and you lay it over the bottom part of the cupcake, and that's how it makes.
Okay.
Or you can do a little bowl or a cup. And then what I brought you are 2 Arizona Farm favorite salads. And I brought you this chickpea salad because this is a salad that everybody goes, oh, that sounds awful. I would never make that. And then they taste it and they go, I'm making this every time, every chance I get. It's so good.
So tell us how you make it.
So the chickpea salad is garbanzo beans.
You want us to sample?
Yeah, please do.
For listeners via the podcast channels.
And the only dressing on it is you're putting a little bit of red wine vinegar in a skillet, and you're throwing in some golden raisins, and then simmering them. That's all
really
the dressing is, and it's got cilantro, and it's got cilantro, garbanzo beans, and that dressing, and that's it.
That is amazing.
Isn't that neat?
And that's on your website?
It is. It's called Chickpea and Raisin Salad. And that
wonderful.
is for the summer coming up. That's a perfect transportable picnic salad because it's never going to wilt. It gets better as the hours go on.
There's nothing really in it that's going to go bad.
No, not at all. And the benefit of chickpea salad is you can actually take the water from a can of chickpeas. It's called aquafaba, and you're going to be hearing a lot more about it. It's kind of a big trend right now. But aquafaba, literally translated, means bean water. And what you're doing is you're taking the water from the can of beans and you're emulsifying it with lemon juice and a little bit of garlic and some other things. But this is primarily the water from the chickpeas. So give that a taste. It's a very healthy, organic mayonnaise. The only problem with this is it doesn't last as long as the regular mayonnaise. It lasts maybe a week.
Okay.
But it only requires a quarter of a cup of the aquafaba.
That's very good.
Isn't that good?
So it's aquafaba and
really good.
Just
lemon juice.
Lemon juice?
Yep. In fact, let me just
Very
see
good.
here. It's actually called vegan mayonnaise, too. So it's got the aquafaba. I put a little bit of Dijon mustard in there.
Okay, that's what I
Oh,
taste.
that's
That's good.
Lemon juice or vinegar, and then a neutral oil. So you use an avocado
That's great.
oil.
Very fresh.
And a little bit of salt, and that's it. And
That's
you
great.
blend it up, and it's thickened and emulsified. Isn't that good?
And I love it. Yes,
No,
you're
that's mayonnaise I
utilizing the
like.
juice from the beans and
Exactly.
and the same thing with these little cups. They're so cute.
Aren't
you
they
know?
neat? And
Saves
they-
on dishes and more sustainable.
Yeah, and you could make meatballs and put your meatballs in there with a little sauce on there. Kids love this idea. If you want them to eat their veggies, make a Frico cup, make a Parmesan cup, and put their veggies in there. And then they just break off
And they'll eat
the
it.
bowl and eat it. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great
Isn't it-
idea. Now you've got your classes for kids, right? Do you do that in the classes?
Yes.
I bet they love
All
that.
summer long. We do. And like I said, we don't dummy down anything for the kids. They really learn how to cook. Knife skills, sauteing, souffling, everything.
Wow.
What is their favorite? What do they?
They love pizza.
Uh-huh.
Does that surprise you? But you know what? They're more adventurous than we give them credit for.
Mm-hmm.
I made an avocado chocolate ice cream, and they were just mortified. They're like, Miss Jan, no, we just want chocolate ice cream. No, no, no. And they tasted the avocado in it, and they just went crazy.
Wow.
So if they're willing to give it a try, that's all you can ask of kids. Just give it a try. Just taste it. If you don't like it, fine, but give it a try. And they usually do,
And if they've made it, they have more of a willingness to try it, which is the same thing with
Bingo.
vegetables. If they grow the vegetables, they'll try the vegetables. That's why we need to expose our young people to farming, even if it's a backyard garden. And this cooking, it's the same concept. And isn't this chickpea salad the one that you had the winners at the Bashes High School? It seems like, yes. So talk a little bit about that.
I had the honor of teaching Bashes High School students, and they were sort of the gifted ones because they had won an award for their cooking.
With the Arizona Pork Council.
That's right.
Cooking with pork.
Julie asked me to come in and do a pork recipe, and I threw that salad on the side because I knew they were going to go, oh, gross. And I wanted to see their minds change.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, oh, I don't know about this. And they went nuts over it. They loved it. And that is a perfect example of just give them a try, let them do it, let them have ownership. The kids today have grown up with the Food Network, TikTokers, Instagrammers, and they're all about food. So they are very savvy.
Yeah.
They just need to learn some proper knife skills, how to be safe in the kitchen, and then give them the free reign, But the kids that we teach are very...
It's real hands-on.
Yeah.
What about this other salad?
Okay, so this is a Brussels sprout salad.
It looks great.
And this was a beautiful salad. Again, it holds up really, really well if you're transporting it to a picnic. It's shaved Brussels sprouts, and that's why I brought the mandolin in to say if you want a thin shaving of something and you've got a mandolin, please, please, please proceed with caution. Always use the guard. That every mandolin comes with a guard that sticks onto the vegetable that you're grating. Use it. Don't, because every ER doctor will tell you that if they're going to get an accident from a chef or somebody cooking, it's going to be a dull knife or a mandolin. And when you get cut with a mandolin, it's serious.
Ooh.
You're going to lose something.
Oh.
So it's just be very, very careful. I shaved that with just a sharp knife, It's got some cherries in there, dried cherries.
Really good.
It's got slivered almonds. Here's the tip there's 3 things. If you burn them, you've got to throw it away.
Oh, okay.
No coming back from burnt garlic,
Mm-hmm.
burnt nuts, or burnt coconut.
Mm.
And it happens so quickly. So if you're going to toast the nuts like I did, get a dry skillet, turn it to medium high, throw the nuts in there and stay there. And just shake the pan, medium high heat until they're nice and golden brown. If you turn around to ask your husband how the sourdough is doing and you turn back, Tammy, it's going to be burnt.
Gone. Yes.
Same thing with garlic. You can't come back from garlic. It will ruin your dish. So you've got to throw that out. And this coconut, there's nothing more beautiful than toasted coconut. There's nothing worse than burnt coconut.
Yes, I love toasted coconut, but you're right. It goes from toasted to done.
Quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you have a favorite recipe of all your recipes, or
depending on what
favorite
day it is?
category? Yeah.
Depending on what mood I'm in. Not really. I just, there's so many. I mean... I really can't even think about what my favorites are. There's so many.
So since, again, you have this popular show, second season.
Going into 3rd now.
Oh, 3rd. I keep
That's
saying second.
great.
Second, the 3rd. Cook Like an Italian. We can have the highlight point that our Durham wheat is loved by the Italians. We export it to the Italians. They turn it into this lovely pasta.
Incredible.
So let's begin with that. Talk about pasta. Any tips on cooking with pasta?
So we work with a company called Armando Pasta, and they have decided, they're in Italy, and they have decided to hire scientists to become farmers. So they have farmers that make sure that there's no overspray of pesticides, that the mineral aspect in the soil is perfect, and so it's a beautiful pasta. But they get their wheat from Yuma. I mean, it's amazing. Yuma, Arizona is such an international treasure.
It is.
I don't think people realize that Italy bases their pasta industry on Arizona wheat.
I hope their farmers don't get too good. They need to keep importing it from Yuma.
It's incredible. And the story, I think, Julie, you told me the story about that years ago, where this conglomerate of pasta scientists traveled the world to try to find the best durum wheat, and they found it in Yuma, Arizona.
Yeah.
And we import it to Italy. They make the pasta. We have to pay double for it because it's imported. But, it all comes, we should just all go up to Yuma.
So what is the difference between pasta from Italy and pasta here?
I don't know that answer. I just, I don't know.
We did learn that you can cook pasta with milk, which is so awesome.
Was that the last time we spoke together?
Yes.
Was that the last week?
Yes, I can't wait to try
It's
that.
incredible. So I was telling you that my favorite way to cook pasta now is in a gallon of milk, brought to a boil. Cook your pasta until it's softened, and then because what happens is the milk turns to cream, and it's like an Alfredo sauce. You add that cheese in there, and you've got Alfredo sauce in one pot from the milk. But the milk makes the pasta taste so incredibly sweet and rich. We talked about Ina Garten doing her overnight mac and cheese. She soaks her macaroni in milk overnight, and it is just like incredible. It's so good. So milk is amazing for cooking pasta.
It is. And, with them flipping the food pyramid like they have, I mean, we are learning more and more how much protein's important.
So important.
And so all of our meats, chicken, fish, eggs, as well as all of our dairy really fall at the top of the food pyramid because we're trying to get more protein. So doing that will help up the protein content in a meal too.
Why, Tammy, is protein important to our body?
We need protein for so many things. I mean, our body is always breaking down and replenishing itself. But for younger kids, they're growing, and it helps with the development of muscle mass. As we get older, we start losing muscle mass, and we need protein to help regenerate that muscle mass. And it also has a role in helping to fight off illness, too. But the difference with animal proteins in dairy and meats and eggs and things is that it is high quality protein. It's a very it's very balanced in amino acids, so you're actually utilizing more of it than you do from the vegetable sources.
What about protein from collagen?
Mixed information on that in terms of whether you can actually ingest collagen and have it absorbed, or if it's just digested. Most of them are just digested.
Really? Because that's a big craze right now.
Yeah,
it is.
The collagen protein.
It is, and they really haven't found a formula that they have scientifically proven that
it's expensive to me.
that shows that collagen ingested actually helps in forming more collagen. Again, science takes a long time. But they really haven't seen anything that's been able to be scientifically proven along that line.
So the best bet is to eat those nutrient dense. I love when I hear my nutritionists like Tammy say nutrient dense.
Yeah.
Our protein meats.
And that's what the new pyramid is all about.
Yeah, it really is.
Nutrient rich and whole
foods.
Whole foods, no preservatives, which we talked about is going to be, it's a challenge for farmers because it doesn't last, whole food doesn't last as long as a preserved food, but it's better. It's so much better.
It's not really a challenge for the farmers as much as it is for the food supply chain, making sure, and then us educating consumers, because my rancher It's beef on the hoof. Obviously, it has to be harvested and processed, but it's not, it's a very basic baseline, beef cattle to the beef. They don't change anything in that process. They're just harvesting the animal. In dairy, it's very basic as well. They're just milking the mama cow, and I'm repeating words there, but the cow, and it's fresh milk within 48 hours on the shelf?
Generally, from the dairy to the grocery store,
right.
No
about 48
kidding.
hours.
So, I didn't know that.
What I actually think will occur is that individuals like you that are teaching people how to cook well and to cook right will teach us how to stick to the basics, come back, return to the basics, get rid of a lot of those, quit going to those fast food restaurants, drive-thrus. Go home and cook some great pasta with milk, with a gallon of milk.
It takes you 10 minutes.
I can't.
Yeah,
I can't wait to try that.
It's so good.
So that's what I think we need. What we're going to re-educate the consumer toward is coming back to the basics, because farming's been doing what it's been doing all along.
Yeah, that's true.
Very baseline. The vegetable farmer raises vegetables, doesn't do anything to them. Even if they're diced and put in a bag, it's still just the raw vegetables. So,
you know what I really love? Fat. I love fat. I love beef fat. I love chicken fat.
I love butter.
I love fat. Fat equals flavor. It just does. You know what I tell people?
How does that work? How does that bring out the flavor of the fat?
If you, first of all, I am not a chicken breast gal at all. I just feel like you have to work really hard to keep that chicken breast moist and delicious. So I love chicken thighs. And if I could recommend, is it skinless, boneless, or skin on, bone in? 100% of the time I would recommend skin on, bone in, because the bone offers flavor, the fat offers flavor, so much flavor. You can always skim off the fat.
Right.
But you've got that beautiful flavor that's retained. If you have a skinless, boneless, all you have is the flavor from that meat, but the fat is what, and the same thing with a steak. I'll tell you what, if I had a steak and nobody was in the room, I'd eat the fat first. I would just lap it up because that just brings out that flavor in everything. And then, like I said, you can always skim it off. But so many people will never touch a chicken thigh because they think it's fatty or it has more calories than a chicken breast. My feeling is if you're going to eat something, make it count. Make it taste good,
Enjoy your food.
Thank you.
And Tammy can speak to this more than I can, but this return to the basics and to healthy fats.
Yeah, the whole fats.
The whole fats. Mm-hmm. We haven't realized what we had in the past, not the nutritionists, I'm not saying you guys, but we moved away from those healthy fats, and now we're returning to them. I think and they bring so much flavor into everything we cook.
I think the scariest period for food for me was when they started bringing out the Atkins, all the fat variations. Your body does not know what to do with it. Doesn't know how to process it. We don't know if it's going to cause cancer. All of a sudden it was all these fat
anti-fat
substitutes,
fat haters. Yes,
and they taste bad. If your body isn't assimilating them, for God's sake, eat fat. That is good for you. Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing that people don't realize, that it's not a bad thing to have a good whole fat.
Yeah, it's everything in moderation. And some of the research that they had done back 2 or 3 dietary guidelines ago, which would be 15, 20 years ago, wasn't conclusive. And so now they're saying, whole milk and whole fat dairy is okay. They've got enough research to show that it is not detrimental to your health. So it's really more a personal choice on flavor. And I think that's good because you want to eat foods that are flavorful and you want to have a variety of foods in your diet. And now, it's really giving you permission to have all kinds of whole foods, but to stay away more from some of the foods that are highly processed.
It's too bad that they went down that road because you have to spend the rest of your career trying to re-teach people the right way. When,
That's why we have Fill Your Plate Now.
Yeah, exactly.
And this partnership with Tammy and her expertise in nutrition and me coming off the farm. Coming off the farm. I mean, and having guests like you, this is what inspires me, because I think that we're going to be supportive of this revolution in real food.
Well, and you can talk about the agriculture side. I talk about the nutrition side, but what we love is that you're talking about the application.
Right.
And that's really that last step that's so important, because you're teaching people how to cook and how to cook flavorfully and how to, and what not to do in my case too. But I mean, if you had to give people who are just learning to cook a few tips, what would be maybe your top 3 tips to start with, to get them started?
Yeah, I would say, number 1, give yourself a break, okay? I always say, don't make a recipe for family or for a company for the first time. That's just a bad thing to do, because you're going to change it. You're going to figure out that it was too salty or too peppery. So first of all, how many meals are we going to make in a lifetime? Thousands and thousands and thousands. If you blow one, who cares? You've got many more years and days to make good food. Keep it simple. Follow recipes and chefs that know what they're doing. The thing about Pinterest and TikTok and Instagram, which I love with all my heart, but they're not into teaching you. They're into entertaining you. And so they leave out steps. A lot of them leave out steps that are so important to the cooking process. And they just want to show this finished, amazing thing. And then you go in the kitchen and you're so frustrated because it didn't turn out that way. And here you watch the TikToker and it turned out beautiful. So get rid of all that. Get in the kitchen, start with simple recipes that you love or your family loves. Give yourself a break. Be safe. Just go easy and be good to yourself and have fun. It's not a chore, it's a passion. And I think that's what I find with people that come into the class that go, I don't know how to boil water. And 2.5 hours later, they walk out and they go, I made that? I did that souffle with Gruyere and mushrooms? I never thought of doing that in my life. Just do it. Just do it. And if it doesn't turn out, who cares? There's a garbage can or a dog or a kid there.
One of the things you said that I love is about using recipes from people that are tried and true, the chefs that have actually tested them. That's Jan's experience too. You've tested these recipes. Even when you made that one cookbook about rescued recipes, you tested them. And I think that makes the difference. And it brings me confidence when I have tried some of your recipes, because I know you've done them.
It is just, yes, you just need to be good to yourself and not put pressure. There's so many people that go, I don't cook because my mom hated cooking and I was afraid to get in the kitchen because I didn't want to be miserable, and just throw everything out the window and go in there. When you're cooking with your kids, they're learning art, science, math, chemistry. They're learning everything that they could possibly learn about the world in the kitchen, because you've got to do math to do, measurements. You've got to and it's the only place in the house where all of your senses come alive. Sound, touch, smell, taste. Your senses are so heightened in the kitchen. So use it to have fun. Just have fun.
And I think with kids too, I mean, it's such a feeling of accomplishment.
It is.
When they make something on their own and get to work alongside their mom.
And failure. Yeah. Failure is not a bad thing, because now they know to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt instead of a teaspoon of salt. So yeah, they failed on that recipe, but going forward in the rest of their life, they've learned something valuable.
That they won't forget.
Yeah, and they learn to clean up too.
Yeah. You just have to get in there and do it.
Yeah.
So Tammy, I think that's one of the reasons why Jan ends up in the kitchen a lot, because it is maximizing all of our senses. And I think we all should have that reality when we do this. That this has been wonderful having you with us.
Thank you.
In these 2 episodes, Jan, you're an inspiration. I'm going to find myself in the kitchen more as well. How about you, Tammy?
I'm going to make some changes.
What are you going to change, Tammy?
I'm going to buy garlic fresh.
No garlic in a jar, ever.
And I am definitely going to get some of those devices. Those are really fun.
Yeah,
I can't wait to try some of those. But no, learned so much. I'm going to be listening to this over and over to make sure I've gleaned all the information.
Me
but
too.
you are just so great at making things simple.
Yep.
And showing the application of the things we need to eat. So thank you
I'm
so much.
Glad. Thank you guys. I've learned so much from you two through the years. We've known each other for many years. Tammy, you were on the air with us for so long. Every time you came on, I learned. Julie, I would hang out with you in the farms, with farmers and ranchers.
We had so much fun.
I've learned so much from our farmers and ranchers here.
And it's to be continued. We definitely will have you back again. What do you think?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll have to do a cooking class.
Yes.
In the meantime, we'll have to come out there. Yes.
We'll do a Chopped with you two.
Oh, there you go. That'll be fun. Yeah.
With a sharp knife.
Yes.
No.